Hello there, I'm Charlie McCardle. First on our programme tonight, Guernsey's Home Affairs Committee is under fire for dragging its feet when it comes to a new domestic abuse strategy. Campaigners say there is a need for reform now, with the island's justice framework up for debate this week in the States. Well, our Guernsey political reporter John Fernandez is live outside the States for us this evening. So John, could this week mean some good news for these campaigners?
Yes, Charlie, the justice framework, which, as you said, is being debated this week, is hoped it will go some way towards addressing some of these concerns. And of course, we've been told by Home Affairs to expect a domestic abuse strategy within the next few weeks. But we were told that this strategy would be coming out last year. And that's why campaigners are so keen, because of this delay, to ask for some progress, as Faye Rowlands reports.
It started with just arguments that would come out of nowhere. It became more and more regular, the berating, the really making me feel rock bottom low about myself.
Laura was in an abusive relationship for 2.5 years.
But it's still a concern for me. We've got cameras all over the house just in case. You know, any time I leave the house there's a little bit of anxiety knowing that, you know, I might see him. But it is still definitely a concern, and I understand why people don't talk about it.
But Laura is talking about it in a hope it helps others get the justice she feels she was denied.
Most of the police were incredibly apologetic and did want to help me, but they just couldn't, because we just don't have the laws to get him, you know, charged for what he did. We don't have a coercive abuse law.
As well as family, Laura turned to the charity Safer for support, a charity that saw demand increase by 1/3 last year compared to pre-COVID. Domestic abuse is also one of the top 3 issues highlighted in a review of the island's justice system.
There was some really good provision in place, I found, but there were some critical gaps in the services, and that included the sexual abuse referral centre, a crisis helpline for victims, and some kind of therapeutic support for victims. The other thing that I would like to say is I think there was a real recognition that this was an important issue and it was something that needed a greater focus, and there was a lot of work going on at the time that I was doing the review.
There is political pressure to make sure change happens, particularly when it comes to the sexual assault referral centre.
The committee came forward with prioritising the section this year, but however I haven't heard really anything else in terms of what has been done to make sure we launch this pilot. We absolutely know the support is needed. We know this is an urgent action, and we know that the consequences of not doing something about it will stay with the island for decades to come.
The Home Department says a new domestic abuse strategy will be out within weeks. But survivors like Laura say they won't stop until they see change actually happening.
I think that we need coercive abuse laws. I think it's ridiculous that we don't have one, and I think it's ridiculous that I'm sat here still talking about it. And obviously I will continue to talk about it for as long as I have to, but there's only so many times I can tell my story, while in the meantime other women and other men are suffering.